Hey everyone, today I'm going to share with you my recipe for a super juicy, crunchy, sweet and sour chicken. Okay, so right here I have 400 grams of chicken thighs and some bell peppers. These are about 40 grams each. And this is just a small red onion that is about 60 grams. And this is 70 grams of pineapple. You can use canned pineapples, no problem. 1 egg for the marinade. Speaking about the marinade, here are the sauces that I'll be using. We'll be using some light soy sauce, some Shaoxing wine, just a bit of pure sesame oil, and also some corn flour. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's do the easy stuff. We'll cut up the vegetables. For the onions, just some large chunks. You don't need to get multicolored bell peppers, but it's just that when I buy it here, they sell it like that, so that's why I'm using multicolored, but you can just use like, 1 or 2 colors just to make it a little bit pretty. All right, so that's all the veg. All right, so now we're just gonna cut up our chicken, and you just want to cut your chicken pieces into about the same size. This way it'll cook the same time. This recipe here will be enough for about 2 people. Okay, for the chicken marinade, we're gonna need about 2 teaspoons of Shaoxing wine. That's 1, 2. It's a tablespoon of light soy sauce. A teaspoon of sesame oil, pure sesame oil. And drop in 1 large egg. And we're just gonna go ahead and mix it up. Now I'm just gonna add 2 big teaspoons of corn flour. So this coating of corn flour is just, sort of a pre-coating. I'm just gonna coat the chicken with this pre-coating of corn flour so that it gives it a nice little protection during frying. Okay, so after that's done, I'm gonna marinate this in the fridge for about 5 minutes. So meanwhile, let's make the sauce. I need 5 tablespoons of ketchup. And this is 5 tablespoons of brown sugar. You can use white sugar if you want. This is 3 tablespoons of white vinegar. Two tablespoons of plain water. And here is my secret ingredient for a really nice, delicious, sweet and sour chicken. It is Worcestershire sauce. I just need 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. So when your friends eat this, they're gonna taste a little bit of that something something. They're gonna ask you, hey, what is that? And you just tell them, it's a little bit of something something. And this is purely optional. I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of MSG. I mean, let's face it, MSG is a part of Chinese cuisine. What can I say? So we also need 2 teaspoons of corn flour. The corn flour is just gonna help thicken up the sauce. And then just mix it up really good. All right, now it's time to coat the chicken. I'm gonna put in about 3/4 of a cup of corn flour because I'm gonna need a lot to make a really nice, crunchy texture for the chicken. The best way to do this is to just use your hands. Yeah, so when you're doing this part, make sure you have a big bowl because this way you can more easily coat your chicken pieces. Your pieces of chicken should resemble powdered donuts. And that's why you need a lot of corn flour. And just also make sure that none of your pieces of chicken are sticking to each other. All right, and my chicken is well coated. All right, so I have my oil here. I'm going to heat it up to 350 degrees. Here's one way to check if your oil is hot enough. Put a wooden chopstick in the center, and if it fizzes like that, like you open up a can of soda, it's ready for frying. So the first thing I want to do is shake off any excess corn flour. I'm gonna fry these in 2 batches because if you fry in 2 batches, you get crispier results. So don't put all the chicken inside, just separate it into batches. Okay, so in here I have about 9 pieces of chicken. So that's all I'm gonna fry up for now. I'll fry up the second batches after this is done. And do remove any pieces of corn flour that has fallen off and floated on top. So I'm gonna fry this for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so it's about 2.5 minutes. I'm gonna remove my first batch. And I'm gonna wait about a minute to let this oil go back up to temperature before I add my second batch. Meanwhile, I'm gonna scoop up as much of the flour that has fallen off as I can because this is fresh oil, and once this oil cools down, I can strain it and put it back into a bottle and reuse it for a second time or a third time. Okay, time to fry my second batch. Okay, so right now I'm going to turn my heat up just a little bit. And I'm gonna make the oil extra hot because I'm gonna fry everything the second time. Because you know what I always say, when you fry twice, you make it so nice. Now what the first fry did was cook the chicken. The second fry is to make the chicken extra crispy. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop these all in. And the second fry here is just gonna be about 30 seconds, not more than that. Okay, so it's 30 seconds. I turn off the fire. And as you can see, all of my chicken has turned 1 shade darker. Just set it aside, let it drain. And see, just by the look of it, you know that it's really crispy. Okay, so it's time to put everything together. This pan, I have my fire on medium heat. I'm just gonna drop in 2 tablespoons of oil. Spread the oil around. Drop in the veggies. So I'm just gonna cook the vegetables for about a minute, just until the vegetables soften up. Make sure you always move it around so that it does not burn. And when my onions start to turn clear, I'm gonna add in my sauce, just give it one final mix. Put my fire on a low medium. Add in the sauce. Just keep mixing, and as the sauce gets hotter, it's gonna thicken up. It smells so good already. All right. As you can see, my sauce is very thick. Look at that, right? Just like that. I'm gonna turn the heat off. And then I'm gonna throw in all of my chicken. Now it looks like there's not a lot of sauce, but there's a reason for that. You don't want to over sauce your sweet and sour chicken, because if you have too much sauce, guess what happens? The outer coating of your chicken gets too soggy, right? Makes sense, right? So if you follow the recipe for the sauce and the amount of chicken, you're not gonna have the problem of too much sauce. And no, I did not forget my pineapples. Chuck it all in and just mix it up for about 10 seconds. You know, I know what everyone is thinking. Hey Wally, do you do deliveries? The answer is yes, I do. I take Bitcoins and Camels as payment. Oh, check that out. Tell me you can't smell this. It's sweet, it's sour, and the chicken is just gonna be nice and yummy. So there it is, folks. My sweet and sour chicken. So the very important key about making this, of course, as I mentioned, is do not over sauce your chicken. Huh? Can you hear the crunchiness?